What's going on, everybody? So today we're looking at the Neon Tech Iron Man 2.0 by Hot Toys. This is the die-cast figure, as you can see at the bottom, and this box is huge. Real quick looking at the box, it is a luminous reflective effect, so if you have ultraviolet light, it'll reflect on there. This is a Hot Toys exclusive as well. Giant box, really hard to fit all in frame, but awesome box design on this guy here. You have all the whodunits on this back side, all the information about the sculptors, all that kind of stuff. The other side here. On the top you have it again, Iron Man 2, the Neon Tech Iron Man 2.0 MMS 523D24 1/6 scale collectible figure. And on the bottom it's just plain black. And this was my first Iron Man figure. We'll get into what I think about it, my first impressions of it. I had it since January. It is about to be April now, so I've had it for a few months. We'll talk about my impressions of it. I don't want to get into it right now, but let's go ahead and open up the box. You're going to have it split into two pieces right here. You have that little shell there. And you have your styrofoam box, which many of your Iron Man 6-scale figures are going to come in, and then you also have that second half of that box there. So we'll toss those aside. Then, like I said, you do have your styrofoam box here, but on this one, you do have another little section, your clamshell down here, whereas you have all your accessories, your stand, your batteries, and your base are going to be in here. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. But of course, you have your big figure in here. Take off the top like so. Now we have our Iron Man figure in there. Let's go ahead and take everything out of the box and see what he comes with. Alright, so here you go. This is all the accessories that he comes with. First off, it does come with an instruction manual, just like a lot of Hot Toys do, and especially these Iron Man ones, the ones that have more moving parts, delicate parts. And like tells you how to put the batteries in, how to switch all the accessories, how to rotate them, all this kind of stuff. So definitely read the instruction manual first. I did it first. I didn't realize this was my second Hot Toy, I think. Second or third. I think I got Captain America before this, and before that I got the Sideshow Luke. But this one by far is very fragile. I did not realize how fragile it was going to be. And you'll see we have a bunch of hands, a bunch of different accessories, and so you'll see that looks like some pieces are broken, and that's definitely true, because this thing is super delicate. And that's what I kind of want to talk about. And I'm sure it's like this with many Iron Man figures. And I have a couple other Hot Toys and 6-scale figures that are very delicate. And it's just how everything is. Certain Marvel Selects or Marvel Legends figures are more fragile than others. It's just how it is. It's just how each figure is made differently. Some are more fragile than others. Now this one specifically, I'll talk about each different accessory and which one was more fragile than the other. First off, you do have this really cool base. This is also reflected with ultraviolet light. I don't have an ultraviolet light, so unfortunately I can't really test it. But from videos I've seen, it's not a huge difference. But it has it Iron Man 2 with the cool neon tech to match the box and the Iron Man himself. Neon Tech Iron Man 2.0. He does not come with a flight stand, as you see that I have attached here. He comes with just this normal crotch grabber, which I think is kind of weird because he's Iron Man and you'd want him to be flying. So I recently just picked up the Infinity War Thor, so I put the flight stand on this one. And I'd probably switch it out eventually when I want to switch out the Thor pose, but for now, I put the flight stand on Iron Man. Now, he comes with several hands. Of course, he comes with 2 that are already on him, but the other 6 hands that we have here, you're going to have this one with the repulsor. And then these fingers are rubber. They're flexible. You can't really pose them in any way. They're just, you can move them. I don't really understand the purpose for that. Now, this does not move, okay, guys? This is not adjustable, this little flap here. And it doesn't move. It's upright in that position, so you can really put the hands up high, so it looks like he's shooting a repulsor blast. Now, of course, you see that I tried to move it, so it broke. Alright, so I have yet to glue that back in. I don't know how easy that's going to be. So that's one hand. You have another one, you have your closed-fisted hands here. And it has a little opening there, and of course you see the little lasers. If you guys remember Iron Man 2 when he shoots the lasers when he's fighting with Rhodey. / War Machine at the end of the movie. It's a really cool feature. I really like this. I had it displayed for a little bit with one of these shooting, and it's a really cool feature. You can see there, it's really cool. And I get with the yellow because it's matching the color scheme of the figure. Of course it'd be cooler if it was red, but of course it matches with the color scheme of the figure. As you can see there, it just pegs in right there. And of course you do get two of those to match the two fists, but of course I don't know what I was doing. I was trying to force the laser in or something, and then this came off. It wasn't a clean break. It's just the glue that was in there just kind of got messed up, and it kind of clicks in, but then it comes loose. So not too bad. Just a little dot of glue will fix it. But again, a little annoyance. Every time I mess with this thing, I feel like something breaks all the time. Then you have a closed fist that comes with the figure, and this is adjustable. This little flap doesn't go very high, not as much as the other ones do, but you can do it. And this is just, again, closed fist. This was going to come on your figure. So I have one closed fist on the Iron Man right now, and then the other one that we have is what I think is the best one you can get or to use, is the one that's completely adjustable. All the fingers are adjustable. I think this is awesome, and it even lights up the repulsor in the hand. So it's really cool. Even if you have a closed fist, it kind of lights up as well. The little flap here is pretty adjustable as well. So this is my favorite hand. So I have one of these on the Iron Man himself. You can make him do, thumbs up. You can make him point if you so wish, and you can do other different things. I'm sure you could think of what you want him to do with his hands and his fingers, but I'm not going to show that. So you get a good variety of the hands you can get. Of course, some are more fragile than the others. My favorite, like I said, is the adjustable fingers. Now, all these little pieces here. So you have his normal mode if you see the normal pictures, and so these are what all these pieces are. They wrap around the arm. We'll take a look at it in a little bit, but they wrap around the arm to make him kind of normal. There's also the battle mode, is how I have him posed up now and set up. And I just took these off to put him in the box better. But as you can see here, you have your little rockets shooting out, which will go on his shoulders. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what the Iron Man looks like and all the accessories on him. Okay, so here we have Iron Man 2.0. As you can see, I'm not going to show how to put the batteries in because it's extremely complicated, but I'll show you where they go on the figure. I think that'll be easier. But before we do that, you can see on his arms here, he has all the little rockets and missiles poking out here. And so you can see he has a little rocket there. He has these little rockets around the arms, and those are what's most delicate on this figure. And so that's what I was saying. This is kind of like the battle mode, that all those little accessories that we saw are going to be right there. And then again, we have the same thing on his other side. And as you can see, we have a little rockets around there. And these little rockets have broke so many times. There's a little plate that's supposed to be on top of there that broke off. So very delicate. Very, I have to be so careful where you grab this to turn it. It's just very finicky. And then those little rockets we mentioned earlier for his shoulders, they're just going to go up here. They're just magnets right there, which is really cool, really easy. There's no snapping or anything like the arms do. And what's also really cool about this Iron Man figure is that he has so many little things you can flap up. So he has like these little rockets here on his back. You can grab some more. So he has like this flap, so you can, like he's flying, and you could turn those up as well. So he has all these different little bits and pieces that you can still move around and adjust, which is really cool. That's how you usually have him if he's flying, kind of thing. Then he also has some on his legs. So he has one right there, kind of on the top of his calf. And then also he has some flaps around his legs, which you will need to move up if you want to adjust his legs and really make him more dynamic. Make sure you move these because you'll scratch the paint. All right. You can take the chest piece off. Let's see if I can do it. It's relatively hard the first time you do it, but it's been easier since I've been doing it more often. I don't really know why you would display it like this. I guess it's cool. I don't really know. But there's just two holes. You're just going to push it back in there. Like that. And that is plastic. That little chest piece is plastic, whereas the rest of the figure is mostly die cast except for that. I don't know why they did it like that, but there you go. As for the light up features, I will show you that real quick. So you're gonna have one here, 2, 3 on the head, and then 4 on the back. The fourth one is on the back. So the head's the easiest. So all you do is take off the mask here. You see the light there. You're gonna take off the top part of the head, and you're gonna just flick the switch there. Of course, it's super bright when you have the mask off. You're gonna put the top part of the head, and then you'll put the front part. These batteries were so annoying to put in. The only other figures that I have lights in them is Commander Cody, and that's just in his arm. And then I have the Infinity War Thor, and that was extremely easy. This Iron Man was ridiculous to put the lights on. The batteries in, sorry. The other one is on his back. It is easier if you flip these up. And then this little piece you're just going to take off. And then again, you have your little switch in there, and that will light up his chest. I'm just going to keep this off for now, so when I turn off the batteries, it's easier. So you can see his chest lights up there. And his arms, I'd say with the harder ones, you can see there's a little curve right here. And so be careful with it. The first time I had to use a screwdriver because it was so tight, and I scratched the paint just a little bit. You might be able to see, yep, you can kind of see it right there. So not a big deal, but if I ever want to sell this figure, that might be, or it's going to be something I'm going to have to, take the price down a little bit. And then you have your little switch there. So you can see some of the lights go on. And then I just kind of like push it halfway into it, so when I turn them off, it's not that hard. And then keep in mind, these batteries do not last very long, and they are expensive, and they're a pain to put in to the figure. So just be careful how long you have these on. I really only have these on if I'm taking pictures or if I'm doing this video. So as you can see, it's not just the the eyes and the chest. There's also some blue lights here. You have some lights on the arms as well, and then like I said, the repulsors do light up. So I have this arm here with the flexible fingers, and so you could light those up as well. So let's go ahead and turn off the lights and see what it looks like. Alright, so there we have the Iron Man all lit up, and it's pretty dark in here. There's a light right above, but everything's pretty dark in here, so you can see the light. It's pretty decent. It's not extremely bright or anything. You can kind of see the blue reflecting. Again, if it was pitch black in here, then it would be a little bit brighter, but I mean, in person it also is a lot brighter too. But it's a definitely cool feature. It's just I wouldn't have it displayed for that long with lights on. Alright, so as for posability, this figure, you do have to be careful with it because he is metal. The paint can scratch really easily, so just be careful on how you pose him. But there's a couple ways you can go around it that they make the figure a little bit easier to pose and be safe. Starting off at the top here, you have your shoulder pieces right here. You can move them out of the way. As you can see, you can even pop them off if you just don't want them to be in the way, but you can just adjust them like this. And you'll see right in here, you can see there's a little part that goes inside the shoulder, and so that pops out all the way. So if you really want to get some better movement on the arm, then you can rotate the joint like this, and you can just really get some better movement out of this arm if you really wanted to get some more dynamic poses, which is really cool. You can make that really move in and out. Of course, the same on this side. If you wanted to get that out more, you can rotate this one. Now with the torso area, of course, just like this, he doesn't move much, right? He doesn't really move anything, but what you want to do is you want to hold around here, your one finger back here, one finger right in front, and the other finger's right up here. You just want to pull up. And as you can see, we're going to get way better range of motion. Hope his head popped off. It's just so much more flexible. So if you could really try to do those turning poses, things like that, you could really get him how you want him to be. And then lastly, for his legs real quick, like I mentioned earlier, that he does have these flaps on his sides of his legs, and that's going to allow you to really move his legs. Of course, his legs are not going to be like other figures, but you can get some better movement here. As you can see, we can get his leg all the way up here. That's actually better than most figures. So if you really want to get him like in a jumping pose, something like this, or even in like the classic Iron Man, you know, fist hitting the ground stance, you could do that as well, trying to do it like this. And then again with the other side, you want to do that, and you can just make sure you're correctly moving the right joint. Don't just use the thigh to move the actual joint here. You want to get your fingers in and move that joint there, depending on what you're doing, of course. Like if you wanted him to make him look like he's really just skipping or something, you can see him there. He's pretty dynamically posed. But for me, I like to kind of have him, like I said, flying. So we're going to work on that right now. And for this one, I'm going to use this flight stand here for this Iron Man. And so what we want to start off with, I'm going to just retighten his torso. Just doing the exact same thing, but reversed. We're holding onto those sides and pushing down. I'm going to put him back to kind of a neutral pose here. So I'm just going to stand him up pretty straight. It looks a little bit funny. And then we're just going to curve his legs a little bit. We're going to point his feet down just a little bit. And again here, maybe have him looking off to the side. Alright, and then we're going to turn down his hand here to make it look like he's using his repulsor to keep him flying as well. Just make sure his shoulder is nice and tight on his side. Make his hands look like they're pretty normal here. And then I think what I'm going to do is have him kind of look like he's shooting off to his right side with his right arm. So we're going to just push this one in a little bit, try to get this as high as possible. Moving this shoulder piece like we said before. Extending this guy out. We might have to bring this guy, I'm going to bring this guy out a little bit more. Let's see. As you see there, we're just going to adjust his head to make it look like he's actually pointing that direction. And then because of how I have my display, depending on what I'll do, I might keep it centered like that and just turn the base, or I can actually turn the flight stand right there. But yeah, it looks pretty good there. It's a pretty good flight stand for Iron Man. And of course, it'd be really awesome if we had like some effects coming down from his hands that weren't just the light. So, but still an awesome figure. Now, for the most part, I was pretty hyped for this figure when I got it, and as the kind of weeks went on, I kind of lost interest in it because I have the Age of Ultron Captain America, I have Infinity War Thor, I have Dark World Thor, I'm getting Avengers, One Hulk, Endgame Widow, so I kind of have classic looks for all these figures, but the Iron Man, it's a lot different. It's not the classic look, and I'm missing that classic Iron Man look, and I really want the Mark 7, so you know, it's kind of like, I would say not to get this as your first Iron Man figure, especially if you're trying to get like a classic line of figures, whatever it is. I would definitely recommend, if you already have a classic looking Iron Man, definitely get this, because he is awesome. It's just I'm missing that, you know, classic looking Iron Man. So I'm either going to sell this and use that money to get the Mark 7, but I don't know, because I have, like I said, Age of Ultron Cap, and I'm going to get the Endgame Cap, and then I have 2 Thors. Black Widow, I don't think I'll get a second Black Widow, unless they release the snowsuit from her solo movie. That would be awesome. Hawkeye, I want to get Ronin, the deluxe of Endgame, and then Age of Ultron Hawkeye. I really like that one. So, we'll see. But, again, this figure is very fragile. Keep that in mind. He is die cast, but doesn't mean there's not plastic pieces. All these little arm pieces around him are plastic. So definitely be careful with that. Sideshow, I believe, does have this figure currently still on their website. I think it's about $3.99, I believe. And you can find it for the most part for that around that price anywhere else. I thankfully got this off a toy store off eBay, and they were selling this brand new in box, never been opened, sealed, for $2.79. It was $3.05 or something with tax and shipping. included. So I got a steal on this guy, like $100 cheaper than what he sells for. So I was like, I have to get this. They still have the War Machine on there, the Neon Tech War Machine, so I might pick that up, but I also want the Punisher War Machine before. I'm a big fan of getting figures and just things in general that are different, that they look more vibrant, more colorful. But this is probably the one. Like it's an awesome figure, but just if you really want, if you're getting your first Iron Man, definitely I would say get the Mark 7. As cool as this one is, just get a classic looking Iron Man first, and then go for something like this. Alright everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's going to conclude this review of the Hot Toys Neon Tech Iron Man 2.0 from the second Iron Man movie. Next up, we were going to be having the Sideshow Deluxe Luke Skywalker. That one's going to be awesome to review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay safe. See you guys next time.